This is the Ibanez AZ2402 PWF, which stands for Pearl White Flat. This is my own personal guitar. I've had it for a few months now, and I'm going to take you through all of the specs, all of the sounds, and at the end of the video I'm going to give you an honest opinion about it. So yeah, let's get started. Well, hello there, Vlad here. Welcome to my studio. As you probably noticed by the intro already, this is my personal Ibanez AZ with two humbuckers. It's a fantastic instrument that I've been playing a lot over the past few months. I've had this. This guitar is part of the Ibanez Prestige range, which is the higher end model in the Ibanez AZ range. There's also the premium range, which is the Indonesian made one. And those are also fantastic instruments, actually come with the same pickups as well. But I just wanted to go for this exact color with these exact specs. This guitar comes with an older body. A lot of the Ibanez AZ guitars also have a flame maple top, but this is just a older body with this amazing pearl white flat finish. Over the past few months I've been playing this. It doesn't seem to be collecting a lot of fingerprints or anything like that, and just keeps looking awesome. The body on this guitar is ergonomically shaped. There's a nice belly cut going on, nice kind of neck joint cut as well, nice arm cut here. And overall, to me, this guitar feels kind of out of the way. I have no trouble reaching the 24th fret when playing standing up or sitting down. In my guitar collection, this is easily the most comfortable guitar to play in every single way. The guitar comes with two Seymour Duncan Hyperion pickups. The Hyperion pickups are custom made for the Ibanez AZ range. This particular guitar, the HH1, has 5 different sounds with the 5-way switch. Then there's also an alter switch which gives you 5 more sounds, so 10 different sounds in total, and we'll dive in all of that a bit later. The guitar also comes with the Gotoh T1802 tremolo bridge, which is just super smooth, kind of 2-point floating tremolo. It doesn't go like too crazily up or down, but for most players I think it will be more than fine. And yes, you can do like the whammy bar tricks and flutter stuff and everything like that with it as well. I also love how smooth the tremolo arm attachment is on this guitar. The guitar also comes with these, I think Ibanez calls them speed knobs, and I really like them. I know the HSS versions come with a more kind of vintage, dare I say, Strat style knobs. These are kind of more modern, and I like these a lot. One of the key selling points on this Ibanez AZ range is the flame maple neck, both on the Japanese and the Indonesian models. And mine seems to have a little bit of flame going on here and there, even though the specs say that it doesn't. Just look at this camera, it looks amazing. The neck is oval C-shaped, and I love this smooth satin finish all over the neck. I'm not a huge fan of lacquered necks, so this is just in my ballpark. 12-inch radius, jumbo stainless steel frets, lumen inlays, an oil-impregnated nut, which is basically self-lubricating. Yes, I know, funny terms. Then there's also Goto tuners that are kind of height adjusted from this side, so there's kind of proper amount of tension on all of the strings and then on a proper angle over here. I have mixed feelings about the tuners on this guitar because while the mass of the tuners is reduced because the fact that there isn't like a screw thingy on the back or anything like that, changing the strings on this guitar isn't super easy. You basically need to like insert a pick into the tuner hole itself, then you rotate, it releases the string, and then you kind of need to repeat the whole process again the other way around. Maybe I'll get used to it and it won't be an issue at all, but my first impressions are kind of mixed tuner wise. I do like the idea of having reduced mass on the headstock though. The guitar also comes with this great flight case, which I've used already. When I play it once, it just feels super premium and it feels like it's going to protect your guitar really well. Comes also with the Ibanez multi-tool, which is a really nice touch. I think this is a really good case. Maybe not as good as the superb, amazing SKB case I have, but getting a case like this with the guitar is just great, and I would have no problem traveling with this case instead of the higher quality one, which is also much bigger and much heavier. I know that a lot of people want to know if this guitar is as versatile as kind of advertised, pickup selection wise that is, and that's what we're going to dive into next. I've recorded 2 clips, one with clean and one with kind of higher gain, and we are going to go through the 5 kind of basic positions, then flick the alto switch and do the same thing again. And we are playing through the awesome Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200, and I'm just using the cabinet simulated line out and go straight into my recording interface. technically there was actually 3 different clips, so high gain, clean, and this kind of blues type of thing. I know that the amount of pickup selection options can feel a bit overwhelming at first, but fear not, that's exactly how I felt first when I got the guitar, and actually kind of strictly stayed in just like the bridge position, the first split coil thingy, and the neck humbucker, and that's it. That's all I played for the first week or so. But then I slowly started exploring. I was jamming a lot to different backing tracks where I discovered that I want to use a different sound for different sections of the jam track. And now that I'm part of this project again, where I need to cover a lot of ground from like heavy metal to surf type of thing to funkier stuff, this guitar has proven that it, like, while it might not sound like a Strat or a Tele on the split position sounds, those are really great sounds in a band context where with a flick of a switch you can go from like a Tele-ish funky type of sound into a full blast humbucker, and that's been really great for this type of thing. It's a kind of Swiss Army knife of a guitar, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. It really depends what you need. Even if you wouldn't use all of the 10 different pickup options, just the bridge pickup, middle selection, and the neck pickup by themselves sound fantastic. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed by the options, stay with the basics and then explore a bit more when you feel like it. That's at least how I approached this guitar, and it worked really well for me. Overall, I'd describe the playing experience with this guitar smooth, but this is coming from a guy who plays a Tele and a kind of 3-3-5-ish thing where the neck access and everything is kind of very vintage style, and I'm used to that, so this guitar feels like incredibly ergonomic compared to those ones. But I do think most of the people will enjoy playing this guitar. That obviously depends on whether you like the neck. For some people who are used to kind of thinner Ibanez necks, this will probably feel a bit too vintage style and too thick. For some people who are used to really vintage style guitars, this might still feel too modern. I personally think overall the guitar is kind of nice balance between old and new. It doesn't feel super modern, but it doesn't feel like a vintage thing either. It's somewhere in between. For me personally, I think they modernized it in all of the right ways, doing the flame maple neck, the switching system, the tremolo, but the tremolo is also kind of vintage style, so it's a balance between the two. I really like the jumbo frets, but I do also enjoy the slightly vintage-oriented 12-inch radius. So to me, it feels as just the right balance between the old and new. I'm also super happy that they expanded on the finish options, because I had my eye on the Ibanez AZ as soon as they were released in 2018, but the finishes they initially had weren't really my thing. And as soon as I saw this and the flat pink one and the turquoise one, I was like, yep, I need to get one of those. Because to me, this guitar is like 80s enough for it to be rock and roll, but it's also kind of neutral enough so I can play a wedding gig with this or a Christmas show that I'm actually doing next week. As I already mentioned, I have mixed feelings about the tuners because changing strings on this guitar isn't as simple as it could be with more traditional locking tuners, but I think I might get used to that, so we'll see about that. Weirdly enough, on this particular guitar, the fret ends aren't as smooth as they could be. Like the angle of the fret ends is good, but whoever was rounding up these frets didn't finish the job completely, and they are slightly sharp, which is weird because all of the other Ibanez AZs I've tried, including the Indonesian ones, have all had fantastic fret work. So I don't know what it is about this particular guitar, but it's nothing that a good luthier couldn't fix. And the guitar has been super stable, even though we go through huge temperature and humidity changes. Since I got this in August, the temperature and the humidity has changed drastically, and this guitar has been really stable. When I use the tremolo, the guitar isn't as stable tuning-wise as I hope it would be, but when I do like a proper dive and let it go again, it's usually back in tune, but I might have to take a look at the nut as well. Maybe swap to thicker strings that aren't like perfectly optimized for the nut, even though it's supposed to be like self-lubricating and all of that. Overall, I think it's a fantastic instrument. I've been super happy with it, both sound-wise and playing-wise, and it just feels really high quality, and I'm happy every time I pick it up, and I guess that's the most important thing. And I know you might ask the question, should I get this one or the Indonesian made one? If you have an option, go and try out them both. There's definitely a difference feel-wise. but I don't know if there's like a huge difference quality-wise. I know Phil McKnight has done a video where he compares the Japanese-made one and the Indonesian-made one, and he actually preferred the Indonesian-made one sound-wise. So it's really up to you and your budget which one you like. I also know that there's the Charvel DK range of guitars as well, and I really suggest you check out those as well because they have a really different neck profile which might be more your thing than the slightly more vintage one on the Ibanez AZs, and they are priced similarly to the premium range, aka the Indonesian range of the AZ. But the Charvel doesn't have anything that's in the Japanese quality range, and there's a significant difference feel-wise at least. At the end of the day, it really comes down to the personal preference and obviously the budget you have. That's it really. Thanks for watching this video, and if you like what I do, you can support me by getting either some Cat Pick Studios merch, links to my Teespring store in the description, links to the guitar in the description as well. And you can also buy my jam tracks from Bandcamp, links to that as well in the description. Thanks for watching this video. I shall see you next time.